used to sell maps of celebrity homes, not landmines. Now, instead of sightseeing, tourists play hopscotch so their shoes don't get hepatitis. And when residents complain, they're called cruel. And now we're supposed to believe Gavin? Hell no. All the problems of the last decade were based on his and his party's lies. Then came the national polling. By overwhelming majorities, it turns out Americans don't favor minors transitioning. So last week, when a California law was proposed that judges in custody cases favor the parent who supports transitioning a child's new gender, Newsom killed that law quicker than a late-term abortion. Yeah, I know, huh? Now the left, being the left, was outraged, but they missed something, because now Newsom says he only vetoed it since it's already the law. What are the catchphrases you keep hearing? Secure
people with masks
now the streets look like
that refuse to provide ID.
Party
Tourists
and
don't
media
come for Hollywood
who
anymore.
covered for an
They're dodging
incapacitated
trash
without
tents,
any
and needles just
arrest
to stay
warrants.
safe.
the country
When locals complain,
and the world
they're
at
labeled
risk
cruel.
for 4 years.
Provide
And
medication
Gavin
to their
Newsom,
young children.
He wants people to believe
Just
none.
be
So Newsom is fed up with tent cities, the crime, the urban decay? No, he's not mad about that stuff. He's mad you noticed. It's like a criminal telling a jury he's sorry he robbed 25 banks when he's just sorry he got caught on the 26th. Because this isn't some spontaneous crisis. It's a man-made disaster like Chernobyl or Fox and Friends. And
This
due
is
to
his
not just
fault.
incompetence,
the
but
truth is,
incapacity.
his lies
You got
and his party's
4,000
failed policies
military.
created this mess
How many
over the
specifics
last
there are?
decade.
I don't know the ins and
Then
outs of
came
this.
national polls
Military
showing
that are
most
not
Americans don't support minors
working.
transitioning.
My interest in
Suddenly,
this
a
story.
California bill that
Uh,
would force
National
judges
Guard
in custody cases
that are
to
teachers that
favor
are
the
supposed-
affirming
American.
parent was
Do they
vetoed
feel
by Newsom.
better,
He
safer?
claimed
National
it was
Guard
only
men and
because
women
the law was
off our
already in place,
wildfire.
but
The
nobody's
answer.
buying it.
This is the
Greg
first
Gutfeld roasted him
story.
for it,
Departments and
pointing out that
paramedic
Newsom
offices
only changes his
that can't-
tune
of
when
the
heat
legacy
is on.
media. How
He
you
compared
feel
it
about
to
the
a bank
legacy media.
robber
Memories.
who isn't sorry for the first 25
Pure
robberies.
theater.
Only the
The
one
legacy
where he
media has
finally got
nothing
caught. According
to
to
work.
Gutfeld,
Now he's
Newsom
dialing
is all
up
show
receipts.
and no
He
results.
called-
and
He doesn't
incompetence.
stand on
As
real
Jesse
beliefs,
pointed out, this is from
just
a
whatever looks good in the moment.
Doesn't
He's
have
less
the
of a leader and more
incapacitated
of a
president.
performer.
Putting
thriving on
us.
optics.
Why do I keep bringing up Gavin? Well, other than my respect for his work in American Psycho, he's starting to distance himself from his party's worst ideas. Newsom, a guy who hates fossil fuels but could still bring down the price of gas by wringing out his hair, once proclaimed that his state would be a sanctuary to all who seek it. Then people actually came.
His
While
action.
California crumbles around
And he
him.
has rolled over.
Instead of fixing
Years.
real problems,
4 years we
Newsom
were
keeps
insecure.
performing for
They're
the
trying to
cameras.
dial
He
now
acts like
for
he
new
loves
seats.
California,
Capacitated
delivering
president.
polished
So,
speeches about the
I don't
state's
care how-
greatness.
Have represented-
But behind the
they
nice
will
words, the reality
lose
is
in the
ugly.
Count me out.
Homelessness
I-
keeps getting worse.
You have
Crime
lost-
is rising, and
His
businesses are
agenda's
leaving the
failing. This
state.
president
Because
And when
the thing
people
is,
start pointing it out, Newsom
you
pretends
ask
to be
any
shocked,
wins in a midterm.
even though he helped cause the
He's
chaos in
dialing
the first
for-
place.
and it's stronger
Gutfeld
hands than
made
they
it
did under
clear.
Biden.
Newsom
You know
doesn't
the
solve
efforts.
problems.
They've taken
He
National
creates
Guard
them
out
and then
of
fakes
fire
outrage to look like a
that
hero
tests
once the
our
cameras
trust
are on.
in what remains.
This is
Either in
why
emergencies,
Newsom keeps coming up
and they're sitting there in the army.
Beyond
We've
his
been going
slick
on for
image,
about 3 months
he's
since the
now
election,
trying to
and
distance
he's not
himself
even
from his party's
Ugandan.
worst failures.
You know,
He's
Greg
the same
Abbott,
guy who
who
rages
doesn't
against
have the
fossil
courage,
fuels,
doesn't
but
have-
parents are
practically
inflate order with authoritarianism, you get chaos and destruction. So if restoring order is evil, then the Dems are now the party of disorder. Turns out the only system they had was wokeism, and it rotted any basic principles the party had to begin with. Which is why, like Gavin himself, they're left looking at 2028's hopes going up in flames. And this time, no one is going to help them put it out.
lower gas prices just by
Of the
wringing oil out of his
consequences
slick
of
hair.
Interesting
He once
is he
bragged
didn't say
California
he was
would be a
Indian.
sanctuary for all.
And he said, yes, sir.
But
and
when people actually showed up,
And they're
Come in the
reality
United
hit.
States, and he knew
And
that
that's
wouldn't
the
help
truth.
him in the oppressed.
California
Precisely the
is a
reason
mess,
that Speaker Pelosi
and no amount of
and
spin
others
or
would get him
staged speeches
preferential
can hide
treatment,
it.
so
The
he
state
adorned
that
himself.
once
Midterms,
symbolized
he knows it.
opportunity
Why
is
else
now
would he make
drowning
that phone
under
call?
failed
Lie of
leadership.
identity politics.
The state that
If
was
it is
once
so
seen as
unpredictable,
America's golden dream, attracting people
knows
from
the
Supposed to be
everywhere,
teaching summer
is now
school.
losing its own
They've taken that, women screaming.
Cities that
because
were
they're being
once full
taken
of
away by-
ambition,
by definition,
innovation,
you have
and
to have parents or
success are
grandparents
and
collapsing
unmarked
under
cars in the
rising
middle of the
crime,
day, in the
growing
middle of the street.
homelessness,
which
and
might be the
crushing
reason why
taxes.
they left. But
Families
it was
who once
Without
moved
any
there
criminal
for
history,
opportunity are now
desperate
leaving
just
for
to provide-
states that
because
offer a
he knew they
safer
have the
and better
highest
life.
median household
People want
income.
Being
safety,
disappeared
affordable
in
living,
the United
and
States of
real
America.
freedom. What was once
Olympics.
the
He
California
was smart
dream
enough to.
Problem is his track record, his performance as mayor, as lieutenant governor, and your analogies are great. I think mine are better, and just hold on, and here's why. He shows up at the fires and says, who the hell caused this? I'm going to crack down on the people responsible. He sees the homeless encampments blocking the sidewalks and said, you guys clean that up. He started it. He spent $3 billion to fix it. And his opening words in 2020 when he got the job is a disgrace. The richest state in the country and the richest nation of the world has a homeless problem. I will fix it. He spends $1 billion when it's not fixed. He blames the mayors, and he also forced the movie industry and Silicon Valley out of the best state in the country by high taxes. I've never seen someone with such a bad performance, but yet I think he's the front runner to get the nomination for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They got nobody else. Sherrod, welcome back.
has now
Wasting
become a
hundreds of
nightmare.
millions of dollars.
Instead of people rushing
Himself
in, they're
with
now
a different
rushing out
race,
in huge
which
numbers.
exposes the
People are leaving
In our
California
parks
in
and
record
playgrounds,
numbers.
they've taken
Care to
The
be
state
black in
looks
America.
emptier and more
Why are you
broken every
pretending to
year.
be?
Democrats confuse order with
Diamond.
authoritarianism.
She texts messages and
But the
emails
result
every
is
day to
chaos.
consider running.
If
Look,
restoring
I'm
order
going to
is
tell
now
him
seen
what
as
Rick
evil,
Grinnell said.
they've become the party of
delete.
Woke politics replaced
I was complaining
real principles,
about
leaving
Trump.
nothing but failure.
Rinse, repeat.
By 2028,
I'm all in. No daylight.
Trump
hopes may
about
already be burned
criticizing
out,
about certain
and no
things.
one will come to
Absolutely
save
not.
them.
Absolutely not. I know
Gutfeld
one thing.
blasted Gavin
Everything.
Newsom
Why don't
for
you
luring
just
people
run?
in with false
And he'd, like,
promises of
click.
opportunity,
Private thoughts.
only to trap them
Manifest
with high
publicly.
taxes,
So
endless rules, and
This
bloated
guy
government systems.
is taking this
Under his leadership,
real time,
California
people need to
became
wake
a
up.
graveyard for
Fine.
dreams.
Rather
Unless
than
you're a
talk
wealthy
about
politician.
it. So last week, Newsom said he hopes the conservative Supreme Court will overturn the current law that bans his state from removing out-of-control homeless encampments. Imagine that. Well, what did you expect, Gavin? That the sanctuary seekers were going to show up in Winnebagos? Once again, another example of a high-profile lib using his big mouth to write a check his ass can't cash. Last year, after the Texas Governor Abbott ordered that parents of transitioning children should face criminal investigation, Newsom then tweeted this: trans kids and their families should be celebrated, not targeted by the state. They are heroes. And so to fearful families in Texas right now, California's door is always open to you.
Or Hollywood star. The irony is painful.
Fight with a bunch of
California
bikers.
once
They don't know
symbolized
what to do.
freedom,
He's also talking about who should be
opportunity,
included in
and
the next
success.
census.
Now,
You said
even
if
Hollywood,
the
the
Democrats
heart
are a
of the
dumpster
state's
fire, they are
identity,
not.
For Democrats, independents, but also
Filmmakers
Republicans
prefer
that de
shooting in
facto.
places
They do
like
not.
Georgia
The
or
problem
New
with the
Mexico,
Democrats right now is a
where it's
hoax.
cheaper
In
and
November of
easier to
next
work.
year,
When
if the
Hollywood
American
itself
people are giving
is
a big
Los
hoax,
Angeles,
you know,
it's clear something is
collusion.
deeply wrong.
we will take back
Gutfeld made it
Congress.
simple.
Who would do
Newsom
their work
isn't
for
just
you,
pushing out
right?
residents.
But now, you know,
he's pushing out the very
game.
soul
What
of
crime has
California.
Governor Newsom
His
committed?
record
for the
speaks for
Jasmine
itself.
Crockett's SAT
As mayor,
scores.
lieutenant governor,
crazy.
and
I think
now
his
governor, he's been a disaster.
primary crime
He
is
shows up at
almost have to do their
wildfires and
own
acts
work
shocked,
now. They actually have
blaming
what he's
others
done to
instead
that
of fixing
state
the
is like
problem.
what Biden
He
did to
points
their
at
battles
homeless
anymore.
camps and
The
orders
Democrats are
cleanups,
like a
forgetting he
pretty
helped
bad.
create the
It's the wrong
crisis.
philosophy.
He's already spent
realized
billions.
all of his
but
budget.
think
What do you think about Gavin Newsom? What's going on there?
I don't know. I don't know how they bump out Kamala out of VIP, put a white male in there and take her out. She's got too much of an ego to just step aside. Mm-hmm. She's going to go crazy if they try to do that.
Plus, she had a strong 2% support, so don't forget that.
Yeah, but she's waiting for that spot to just open for her, and then you put a white male in there.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't know how they're going to put. I mean, they did it to Bernie. They threw him under the bus two, presidential ones in a row. They just gave him a couple extra houses in Vermont. Go, yeah, you got some extra money. But I don't know how they could do it with her.
It'd be great if they threw her under the bus because she really likes buses. Remember?
Legal immigrants, many of them
back in
prisoners are taken.
I think there's a growing recognition in this country,
California's
not just
Jamie Dimon. Strange name, but okay.
The richest
the
state in the nation.
Trump presidency
He spent billions
ends.
of dollars,
It's
but
me
the problem
on
only grew
Gutfeld,
worse.
like, I don't know, it's like
when
10
nothing
years ago.
improved,
Given a fair chance
he shifted the blame
and a
onto
voice
mayors.
and a choice.
At the same time,
Yeah, Rick
his
Grinnell.
high taxes
And I was
strict
complaining about
regulations
President of the United
drove out
States
the movie
recognizes
industry
that,
and
so he
even
wants to
Silicon
rig.
Valley,
Oh, he does this,
once
he
the
does this,
pride
and
of
Rick Grinnell
California.
goes,
Despite
Gutfeld,
this track record,
A crime
he's
has he
still
committed?
seen
Yeah,
as
to
the
warrant
Democratic
his arrest.
Party's
Like,
top
I'm
choice
not
for
running.
nomination.
it's
Mainly
like
because they
He's
don't
running
seem to
for
have
governor
anyone
because he's
else.
done such a bad
Gutfeld
job.
also
Flings in the
highlighted a key
arrows.
moment
So
during
Jamie,
the anti-ICE
you should
protest.
This country.
When demonstrations
And
turned violent,
that's
the
Newsom
money,
refused
you
to
got the
act.
brains,
He didn't
you got
send
the
in
voice.
police or restore order.
Thousands,
leaving
hundreds of
businesses
thousands
and
of
neighborhoods vulnerable.
You're not just a
Chaos
surrogate.
spread
You're
while
somebody
he
who's
stood
getting.
by,
Because at least the
unwilling
dumpster
to
fire
take
producers.
responsibility.
Californians used to sell maps of celebrity homes, not landmines. Now, instead of sightseeing, tourists play hopscotch so their shoes don't get hepatitis. And when residents complain, they're called cruel. And now we're supposed to believe Gavin? Hell no. All the problems of the last decade were based on his and his party's lies.
Responsibility.
How do you
Gutfeld said
handle
this wasn't
all
leadership
of that?
at all. It was
Apparatus
cowardice
is broken.
disguised as
In the
politics.
days you could rely
The turning point came when Trump finally sent in the National
or the
Guard to
fine
restore
people
order.
to drinking bleach.
That's when
And the
Newsom
media
finally spoke
You never
up,
even engage in it
not to
privately.
defend
No, I don't.
Californians,
The ratings
but to
for
accuse
CNN
Trump of
and
interfering in
MSNBC,
his
they're
state.
lower.
You do in private becomes
Hypocrisy
public.
was obvious.
Credibility
Newsom had no problem
is on
letting his
par
own
with
people
Smollett.
suffer.
So the
But the
Not a
moment Trump
chance.
stepped in to help, he lashed out.
Use
It
what's
was
called
just
their
another
brains
example of
because their
Newsom
friends
caring
aren't
more
fighting.
about appearances than real leadership. Last week,
a weak
he even said he
loudmouth
hopes
at
the
the
conservative
bar who
Supreme Court will overturn the current law that's in place.
He
The
trusts
law bans
Trump on
California
everything
from
else, and
clearing
he's
out homeless
delivered.
camps.
Fleeing in
And
record
Newsom
numbers
now
to
says
states
he
like
wants
Texas
the
and Florida.
conservative Supreme
Record, we
Court
can
to
trust he's
overturn it.
making the right
What did he
call.
expect?
Time and
That
again,
people
Newsom's
coming to his
words have
so-called
painted a
sanctuary.
rosy-
Then came the national polling by overwhelming majorities. It turns out Americans don't favor minors transitioning. So last week, when a California law was proposed that judges in custody cases favor the parent who supports transitioning a child's new gender, Newsom killed that law quicker than a late-term abortion. Yeah, I know, huh? Now the left, being the left, was outraged, but they missed something because now Newsom says he only vetoed it since it's already the law.
A state once seen as the land of dreams.
Once again,
Take it from Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's lawyer. He says Epstein.
Newsom is about as woke as they come, and his policy
It's a valid point. Who keeps a list?
to push radical ideas, even if it means harming children.
Now, as the Middle East boils over,
Agenda, one of the most controversial examples you could lead.
you call it when you raise a flagpole a list.
Beyond that, Newsom constantly panders to the
There's another word, but I'm not going to use that word. You know what that is?
his loyalty to their causes, even when it comes at the
There it is. If I ever used it, I'd be run out of
for every citizen's paying the price. In the end, Gavin Newsom is nothing more than a slick salesman, peddling lies, pandering to special interests, and hiding behind California's economy was thriving, yet businesses are
Why would he suddenly depart from that? Given his
desperate and retail theft to surge under his watch.
and I get it, we invested a lot in this.
Picture that collapses under reality. The result?
Told that there was a client
raises a
list.
serious
But
question.
Spiraling into chaos under his failed leadership.
Never had one. So is he right?
He's proven he has shown time and again that he's willing
Of the crimes that they commit. So right now,
in the process, so long as it fits his progressive.
everyone's asking the same question. What
Kids scarred physically and emotionally for life.
Sanctuary.
They call it a lifting. They also use
LGBTQ plus lobby, bending over backward to prove
the word. It starts with an E. You know what
at
the
the expense of parents' rights or community standards.
Newsom has been just as reckless.
We don't deserve him.
Endless speeches. California's decline under his watch speaks louder than his polished words.
Teachers or school